As the conflict between China and Taiwan keeps escalating, many countries centered in the US condemn the human rights oppression of China and stand up for Taiwan's free independence. Korea is an ally of the US in tandem with connecting with China economically closely. Therefore, Koreans couldn't make the position about Taiwan's question clearly. Actually, Korea and Taiwan's history are similar in terms of achieving economic growth even if suffering from Japan's colonial control for a long time. Because of this kinship, Korea had a strong rapport with Taiwan before. But after Korea broke off a diplomatic relationship with Taiwan, Korea fell out with Taiwan. Even Taiwan called Korea a betrayer. The current foreign policy of Korea seeks to strengthen its relationship with the US as an ally while remaining diplomacy with China. Then what position would Korea like to take on Taiwan's question? We can now predict Korea's position on Taiwan by learning about the interaction between Korea and Taiwan in the past. The majority of Korea's independence movement during the Japanese colonial era took place in China under Japan's nose. They were in a tight squeeze because they had to do something under the surveillance of Japan. It is not easy to earn money for independent funds, let alone the living expenses. Chiang Kai-shek, who became the president of the Republic of China later, was the one who supported Korean independence activities. Actually, he didn't like Korean independence activities at first. In his opinion, solving the problem of the Chinese Communist Party was more urgent than Japan's, and he wanted to stay away from the deterioration of relationship with Japan. However, after the Manchuria incident outbreak in 1931, Japan expanded its influence over the middle of China beyond Manchurian, and he changed his mind. Also, after Yoon Bong-gil, who was a Korean independence activist, threw a bomb at Japanese public figures and hurt them, Chiang Kai-shek was impressed by this. Chiang Kai-shek was deeply moved by the fact that one Korean did what 400 million Chinese young people could not do, and he had a different perception of the Korean independence movement. Since then, the Republic of China has actively supported the provisional government of the Republic of Korea both materially and mentally. At the Cairo Conference following World War II, he also stated that Korea must be free and independent of Japan. Since World War II, Korea and China have been separated from the North and the South, and the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China respectively. What Korea and Taiwan have in common is that both fought with the Communist Party during the war, the Korean War, and the Chinese Civil War, which resulted in a division. Because of it, their relationship was closer. Taiwan is the first country to recognize Korea as a nation. Also, Korea installed the delegation of Korea in Taiwan first. Until the 1960s, Taiwan, Korea, and Vietnam as an anti-communist alliance and military alliance with the US had a prominent role that was to deter the spread of communism in Asia during the Cold War era. However, since the 1970s, as the Détente started and Nixon tried to patch up with China, the situation had completely changed. The economy became the top priority more than ideology. As soon as the US handed in China, many countries started to follow in the US footsteps. Korea is no exception. Even if Taiwan wanted to have held hands with Korea as a traditional anti-communist alliance. Former President Roh insisted on cooperation in improving relations with his counterparts from both Koreas as he pushed for the normalization of diplomatic relations in the communist countries. It was designed to diversify external economic links by the establishment of trade ties with communist nations worldwide, so fostering an environment favorable to the growth of the country's economy. As Korea's strategy toward China changed, political relations between the two sides were bound to change. Eventually, in 1992, Korea established a diplomatic relationship with China, resulting in a breakup with the Republic of China. Korea didn't communicate with Taiwan during the diplomatic cessation. Unofficially, Korea provided Taiwan warning prior to the deadline of 5 days, and formally, it was confirmed prior to the 3 days. Also, Korea handed Taiwan's embassy in Myeongdong, Seoul, over to China. Because of this, Taiwan lashed out at Korea over its impolite procedure of breaking up a relationship. As a result, there is currently a feeling of anti-Korean sentiment in Taiwan. However, unlike in the past, the current situation between Korea and Taiwan is not as dire. Korea has emphasized the necessity of enhancing relations with Taiwan and seeking them out ever since the administration of former President Kim Jong-sam. Taiwan, as the sixth export country, is closely connected with Korea. Additionally, a lot of Koreans enjoy Taiwanese movies, and Taiwan is also affected by the Korean wave. Then what will be South Korea's stance on Taiwan? This depends on the president entirely. For example, President Moon's foreign policy was not to engage in diplomacy that stimulates China by jumping on the US without permission, although alliance with the US is the basis. The Moon government has continued its strategic ambiguity foreign policy in this way. However, in an unusual statement, the Korea-US summit in 2021 revealed the importance of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. After the Moon government, the Yoon government started lately. However, we are unable to precisely predict the Yoon government's foreign policies at this point in the initial timeline. However, President Yoon keeps showing pro-US inclination and stressing the importance of alliance with the US. Because of his toward the US, people predict he would be in lockstep with the US. However, after the inauguration, he might follow the Moon government's foreign policy, which is strategic ambiguity. Especially, he didn't meet but just score with the Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, when she came to Korea on August. Many members of the press guessed that his attitude toward Pelosi was related to what he had in mind toward China. However, the Blue House doesn't say anything about Korea's stance on Taiwan, so we couldn't tell. But judging from history, Korea is expected to deal with the Taiwan issue in a way that maintains an alliance with the United States and does not defy China's mood. So thank you for watching this video, and please don't forget to click the subscribe and the like button.